my customer just dropped this off. And while I put the drawers in, so I can show you the before, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this and what do they want to do. Hello amazing humans, my name is Alumine and welcome back to Just Keep Sending. If you love furniture transformations, problem solving and a little chaos, you're in the right place. Let's send through this. So this is a very typical office furniture, built in 1942. The brand is JOFCO. Never heard of it before, but my customer chose the paint. They want blue and they want wallpaper. And aren't they the best? Yes, they are. We will be refreshing the drawers inside because even though they're good, we still need a little love. Look at this finish. It's really good. So, question is, which one's which side? We will never know because we brought it with the drawer out. That one doesn't belong there. So it should. Here, it actually does. Yeah, because it has different knobs on the top. So, the other thing we're going to be doing here is we're going to cancel this lock and we're going to put the knob line in the center because we're going to be removing this cubby. They want to use sound system, so we're going to be removing the doors. I'm going to be filling the holes and the sound system is going to come in here. We're going to make holes in the back so they can pass the cables. Seriously, this is office furniture, but why can it not be a Credenza, a buffet? Yeah, it has big filing cabinets, but you know what else this will be perfect for? DVD storage, PlayStations, I don't know, you name it. Nobody needs a PlayStation on exhibition. You know, those things are ugly. So, here, I'm sure we'll fit perfectly. If you see me moving my mouth, no worries. The ambient sound is so loud that I couldn't torture you with that. Seems like it was like this. This is a typical office furniture Credenza filing cabinet. Cool. I know, I said that before too. My customer had it in their office for years. They bought it as part of a set, but this particular piece never had use for it. They have been waiting to have it in their house as a TV stand. I met with them and we talked designs. They knew perfectly what they wanted, bold and elegant. What's best? Now that you know a little bit more of what we're about to do, let's do an inspection so we can get to work. Manos a la obra. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one, but okay, that one will work. I've been trying to use this one always, so I can't remember where I put it. That said, I'm going to, okay, now where I put the hole. Bad choice, bad choice, bad choice, very bad choice. Can you leave it here? Yes, I can. Okay. There wasn't a lot of damage. Those scratches seemed superficial. There were a few repairs on the bottom and we were also going to finish the back regardless that it was going to face the wall. I'm gonna be removing the lock for that, and it seems like this board doesn't come off until I don't remove the lock, so it's gonna be interesting. Once I remove the two center doors, I'm gonna have extra hardware. these two hardwares. So I'm gonna grab one of those. I'm gonna put it in the center to make sense of it. I'm gonna remove all the things that are in here. Oh, I didn't show you this. Did I? Look at that. That is where the key used to be. So there was a little envelope here with the key. And here it has the brand, which is JOFCO from Jasper, Indiana. The pattern, the finish, that is walnut and it's veneer. And the cabinet maker, so who did this cabinet. And we believe that the date that it was made, even though it has an 81 at the end, we believe it's October 42, and the 81 might be like a set, like a series, like something like that. I don't think it is anything related to the date, because clearly 1042-81 doesn't make any sense. So this is a little bit weird. I didn't think that this was going to be this way. I don't even know if I can like get it out. There's a little bit of a channel. I'm gonna see if I do well. My first attempt didn't work at all. So that's a staple down there. That's a staple right there. So I'm gonna see if I release them like that, or how do I do this? Okay, I heard another one, and maybe I'll just force it out. The shelf tracks that hold the pins had staples on them, and they were so super secure to the wood, clearly, as it is probably evident by the force I am putting. I tried to pry the staple first with a screwdriver and then a needle nose, and it was barely working. I want to grab this now because I feel like I can probably put this in. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I just need to release the staple first and then get this out like that. Awesome. Now that it seems that we figured this out, let's move on to the next step. This dresser is such a good quality. Or dresser, Credenza, I have no idea what this qualifies at. Desk. I'm going to clean. And I'm going to start filling the holes before scuff sanding. Yeah, that's not usually something I do, but because these gouges are so deep, I think I want to start with filling with bondo glazing putty first. And I think I'm going to be using the liquid sandpaper. Look, I'm going to show you these gouges. These gouges are huge. This is a lot of layers of lacquer. I don't think that the actual wood is damaged. This is just the lacquer. So I don't see a point on sanding all of this to raw wood when I'm going to be painting over. If I were going to stain or something like that, yeah, for sure. But these holes are huge too. Oh, look at this. This is probably 3/4 inch. And this is how the color used to be. So I'm going to clean this. I pre-mixed TSP in here. I also have these that I will be using for the top. This, but I'm going to just spray. I don't like this sprayer. Oh, I'm gonna show you, but what can you see from there? Absolutely nothing. Okay. I have to finish the back too, because this is like those type of furniture that are office furniture. So I have to also finish this. So look, there's a big scratch in here, even though this is the back of the piece. This is a big gouge as well. I think so. Let's finish this. Okay, so the liquid sandpaper will help the bondo adhere, because I will be removing all the glossy finish. So I don't, once I clean, I rinse all of this, this for me doesn't work on a vertical surface because for me this liquid sandpaper has to stay on the lacquer. It's a deglosser. I'm just going to let it sit there for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go back and clean it again, scrub it again. I mean, just going to rinse all over the TSP. Because I did the liquid sandpaper to the gloss so the bondo could adhere, and then I did the bondo and sand it, but that was dumb because that didn't do anything. And look what I ended up doing. So after scuff sanding and realizing that most of the scratches this piece had were on the lacquer, not on the actual wood, I decided to get this one. Yeah. So I scraped the top only, and now I'm gonna sand. Well, first vacuum and then sand. So I have a hotel room key here, or a credit card or whatever, a piece of wood to make pressure so I could push the wood filler in as further as I could. This is the same way I filled the hole of my lane cedar chest that was a big circle. This is the same way. I put the wood filler, I overfilled with the wood filler. I can press because it's still drying, so you see that if I press it moves. Okay, so that's why I'm not touching it anymore. This wood filler I use is called Fama wood. I will leave the link in the description too. I am not a big fan of it as it is solvent based. Actually, it is meant to be stored upside down. It dries super fast, but for things like this, like big chunks, it is awesome. Look at this. Okay, don't look at my picture, but look at this. The wood filler kind of melted my card. That's crazy because yeah, it's solvent based. I'm gonna have to remove that with a chisel because I wasn't supposed to fill that part. That's where the drawer divider goes. So I'm gonna have to cut that out. Let's send this. At the beginning I thought of using a dowel, but it was going to be a waste of money and time on the hardware store when I could use what I have. But as this was a huge chunk, I had to let it dry for more than 24 hours to be safe. The only difference with the cedar chest holes filling I did is that in that case, I did put a piece of wood in the back that I left there, and I put the plate of the log in the interior of the chest. So that helped secure everything in place. Not bad. I love it actually. Ooh, do you see that? I want to quickly remind you all about the benefits of spot priming when I don't want to prime everything after I do a repair so significantly like this one that I refill a hole. The filler has a different texture. Spot priming is good. That's why I always keep a can of primer handy, shellac and dark one. So I'm using a dark one because I'm painting dark. So this is a black primer from Rust-Oleum. And also there are other brands that have black primers. No, actually not a lot. I think Mohawk's another one, and I haven't seen any other one. I'm gonna use a trick that I learned from Andrea. That is, I'm gonna continue these lines of the wood, but first I'm gonna use wood filler to fill these a little more to make sure that everything is covered. So yeah, spot priming is very handy. It's very good. Just to check on your repairs. I am going to do a primer coat with paint. With the same paint I'm going to be using. It's just a different color. Do that because I don't have enough paint to do that with the same color. So I'm going to first use a darker one. It's an alky paint. So I'm going to do that primer coat and see how it goes, to see what else do I need to do, and I'll be ready to paint tomorrow. That's the goal. I loaded the Flexi 5000 and I started with a small section in the back. And I quickly moved to the front when I noticed I was filming and you couldn't see anything from there. Just in case I wasn't clear, depending on the prep, the alkyd urethane enamel does not require prep. Can you use it? Yes, it is really necessary. No, as long as the surface is properly scuff sanded, so the adhesion is supreme. But in case there is any doubt, nothing like a scratch test to confirm. In this case, I use a semi-gloss blue-black I found in the Oops section for $9 a long time ago. I didn't have enough for 4 coats of the color they chose, and I wasn't going to buy, so this was the best way to stretch the paint. I don't know if you can see, but I want to talk to you about something. I scuff sanded here. I had to do 120 because I don't know if you can see. You see that? That's texture, and that is what happens with this sprayer. See this? This is worse. So I had to sand it all down. So my light sanding in between coats has become a 120 sanding in between coats. So this is coat number 1. Yes, it has a lot of coverage, even though some spots it is not. I still need to really sand, even though it's not gonna be completely smooth. This overspray, that is because the type of sprayer I'm using, it is very common. And I know some people is used to this, of really scuff sanding in between coats, but I am not. With my HVLP gravity fed sprayer, this has never happened. So this is very specific of the Flexi 5000. I know there's not enough. I'm gonna add a little bit of this in the mix and also a little bit of water, because as this is the last part, I'll be adding some water in here to put it here. And I am also using this to protect my counter. Oh, I'm so glad I'm using the strainer. Ew. My favorite way to water down paint. I'm gonna talk now because I can't talk while I'm spraying. I want to do very light coats of the final blue. There's too many dogs barking, so yeah. Again, I want to do very light coats of the final of I wanted to do light coats of the blue, and they're gonna be very light, and I hope you can hear something, and if you can't, I'll figure it out. It is time to paint. I wasn't able to open my spray shelter as the piece wasn't going to fit, so I covered the floor and everything around it, mainly my Burr Hill Saga that was completely sanded. You might have seen it in the back, and has to be paused to be able to work on this commission. If you made it this far, thank you. That tells me you're just into this nut job as I am. Go ahead and hit that like button if you're enjoying it, and subscribe if you're learning something or want more furniture projects, problem solving tips, and the occasional oops, don't do that moment. I'd love to have you stick around. I also noted that I was so close to the piece due to the shape of my shop. I am having a hard time with the overlay of the passes on the front. Issue I do not have on the sides. Remember, when spraying we should be overlapping by 50% minimum. This means that where the spray pattern ends is where the tip of the sprayer should go on the next pass. So this is what I do in between coats. I put a wet rag and a hair tie in there, and now on my second coat I grab the wireless shop light to be more precise on the passes, as the sun it was starting to go down. Sorry, that wasn't my second coat, that was my third coat. I don't need to do that with the light on my second coat. I did a total of 4 coats of this blue, as I was able to stretch it well with the top coat. I left the black in the primer blue, as I wasn't sure I was gonna have enough for that too. What am I doing here, you wonder? Taking my watch off? Well, to flip this beast on its back because I need to put the caps, and I don't want this beautiful paint job to be ruined by my stupidity. I gotta make it look simple, but that was hard. With this beautiful background noise and crazy hair day, we're going to assess exactly what these stores need, because I'm just cleaning them. I'm not going to be lining them, but cleaning them could also mean like apply a little bit of restore finish depending on how tarnished they are. This one doesn't have any overspray, but there are a few that... Why did I decide to open the drawer? I don't know, but I'm gonna remove that. Yeah, not nice. Can I see how much I like this little detail that I did? Okay, that's enough. I want to show you magic, not so magic trick I might have picked up along the way. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay, because I didn't know that this was possible neither. We're gonna try and make it work. You see these lines? This is somebody that messed up. Paint should be good enough with steel wool and restore finish. I'm okay with this being the only one that's going to be darker than the rest. But really, okay, I'll go close up. You see that there? We're going to take it out because we already did that here. So bad. Also make sure to use Restore Finish in a well-ventilated area. Oh, this is from my pantry. I'm gonna remove this landlord special that my landlord left. So I'm gonna boil it to clean it and put it in the pantry, even though it's not my house. But don't call me crazy. This usually works for me, but right out of the pan, I scrub. But this one wasn't doing anything this time. I think this is the color this is. It's not cleaning. Okay, let's see. It seems like we're gonna have to get some help. Oh, well, that could be the color it is. This is definitely not the color it is. I decided to actually stop cleaning and reach to my customer as we agreed we were going to just clean it to make it shine, but that wasn't working. And they say what we all want to hear. I trust you. So some of these clean well, but some didn't, so we are going to spray paint. Also we're using this, but we start always with the bottom down. Sorry, bottom down, no, top down. Wish me luck. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. This paper is gorgeous. So I will link it below, don't worry. Do you remember that at the beginning of the video I said I was going to make a hole for the wires? The customer confirmed with me that their speaker were wireless and I didn't need holes in the back. So one less thing to do. To apply the wallpaper, I measured, found the center and did a cut in the back so I could line it on the bottom. Here it is. Does it work? I don't know. I think it does, but I don't know it will again. Stay tuned for the scenes of our next episode at the end, and before I show you how it looks now, let's get a reminder of how it used to look. And here it is. This was massive. There was no chance I could bring it inside the house to stage. I could barely put in its back on the fourth wheelers I had them on when I painted. I ended up choosing not to put the knob in the center. That drawer was more shallow, so to have it aligned to the other ones, it was going to look weird as it was not going to be on the center of that drawer. And if it was on the center of that drawer, it wasn't going to be aligned with the other two, and that was going to be even more weird. So I decided not to put it. And also the drawer divider was there in the middle. We delivered to my customer for an additional fee, as they didn't want to go through the trouble to picking it up. I hired a neighbor with a truck and trailer to do the delivery, and we left it in their house. These are the images of it in their house. My customers' reaction when they saw it was amazing. They didn't even want a sneak peek, and when I got there, I told them to close their eyes until I could put it all together in their space, and they were so cool enough that they went along with me. So yeah, I recommend one of these customers to everyone. They are the best. I am sure you all have passed these pieces at the thrift store or even on Marketplace. They are super versatile and can always be modernized. They are wide and perfect as buffets or consoles. I am so glad my customer wanted these colors. I love painting bold and adding fun like this. Painting neutral pieces just for the sake of selling is boring sometimes. This color reminds me of that first blue I painted my nightstand. I redid 3 times. I'll leave the link for you to see the embarrassment in case you want to watch it later. Remember, as always, profit breakdown will be in the description, so we keep it as transparent as possible. I hope this piece proves one more time that everything can be transformed with some love, paint, and a little bit of skills. And remember, skills can be learned. See you again on the next video. Bye! We're finishing this beautiful jewelry test as a birthday present.